Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for our fourth and final color pencil video. We are going to be using this Gina K stamps. It's called the Harvest of Wishes, and there will be a link to the website where you could possibly get this either as the kit or just the stamp set itself. I think as of right now it's out of stock, but I'm putting the link in there anyway just in case. So what I'm doing here is I'm stamping the pumpkin in the VersaFine Black Onyx ink. And now we're going to use this masking paper from Inkadinkado. And what I did is I just stamped the pumpkin on the paper, fussy cutted it out, and now I can cover it, and it'll allow me to stamp on either side with the other pumpkins, so that way it looks like they're grouped together and it gives it some dimension. I practiced this beforehand, so that's why you see the extra ink on the masking paper, excuse me. Alright, so we're just going to stamp it one more time. And then once we have this stamped out, I'm going to remove the masking paper and zoom in, a little bit closer so that way we can see the coloring of the actual pumpkins. Alright. So what we're going to do is, I like to start with the brown, which is actually the 111 colored pencil. And I'm just coloring in the wood, the trunk of the pumpkin. And we're going to do the same. All the coloring is actually the same on all three, so it makes it, pretty simple and easy. On this week's card, I'm not going to use any of the Gamsol. All I'm doing is coloring it in, because sometimes you want that more colored, sketchy look, whereas, sometimes you want it to be more smooth. And on this one, I just wanted to do the color in and just let the colored pencils stand for itself. Now after that, I'm going to do the green of the leaves, and I'm using two different colors. It's the 058 and the 057. And I put down the lighter shade first. And then I go back in with the darker shade to do highlights on the actual drawing itself. And what I decided to do, I'm trying to see if it's at this point. You can do it one of either ways. You can either do your darker highlights and then go through and cover, on top of that with the lighter color. You can do it that way. Or you can do it like I did it right here, which was put down all the light shade and then go back in with the darker color. And all you do is follow the lines that are already in the stamp itself, so it kind of gives you already designed places where there would be natural shadows for you to put the darker color. And then I'm just going to hold it up here so you can kind of see, sorry about the camera, but you can see the two tones in it. Now we're going to use the two pumpkin colors, which is going to be the 024 and the 022. And the 024 is what I'm using as far as my highlight, or the shadow parts in the pumpkin, the darker areas like behind, and then I'm going over top of the whole thing with the 022, which is the more, the closer to true orange color. I liked how those, really blended well together. And what I suggest is, if you're not sure how colors are going to work together, get yourself a scratch piece of paper and draw, just make lines on it, where you can see both colors next to each other. And if you like the way that they look and you think they're going to blend well, then you, go ahead and use those two colors, and you can keep playing with all different colors until you find the right combination. And that's what I did with this one. That's how I found that I like those two particular colors together. to me, the darker, you know, the almost reddish, but it's got that, still got that hint of orange in it, just gives a little bit of added, you know, something in the pumpkin. It helps add to the definition that's in the drawing. Alright, so we're just going to color the back two, the two pumpkins that are behind the front one. And the best part, like I said, is that with these, you know, with this type of a stamp, you're doing the same thing on all three. I make sure to do the dark red on the side of the front pumpkin, so that way it also adds to the dimension of it sitting in front of these two pumpkins. And you can see, even with the coloring that we have right now, it still looks smooth. It doesn't look extra scratchy or anything like that. And for me, I find that I press harder on pencils. I've always had, like, usually by the end, I feel like I have a cramp in my hand because I'm pressing so hard. So I'm still learning myself to use maybe a lighter touch, maybe not press as hard. Now on the grounding of the pumpkins, I did a brown, and I want to say I took the lighter green, which is the 057, and I used that to do our grounding. Now right here, I forgot that the camera was zoomed down, and I was trying to test to make sure that I had put the sentiment on straight on my block. So I just used the test paper, and it's a simple press down and up, sending you a harvest of wishes. It's also included in that stamp set. So now all we're going to do is attach it to the card. And this particular card, I wanted it to be smaller. So what I did is I got my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and I decided to use it for my guide, even though I didn't actually make an envelope for it. But I found a size that I liked, and for this one I did a 3.5 by 4 card. So this one is, you know, super tiny, and you get just a little bit of bordered around the actual stamp. Thanks again for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe. And if you want, you can leave comments down below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, which should be coming sooner this week because of scheduling. So you guys take care and have a good one.